Here he is, all sounding great in the car. You there?
You got me. Are we good? Are we good?
I mean, we're good enough, I guess.
Good enough, I guess, he says.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, I'm jumping through flaming hoops to accommodate you again today, so.
What the fuck? I gave you a time. I called you 15 minutes. No, sorry. I called you 17 minutes early.
Well, except for the fact that we're doing this with you driving in the car again, so we get all the car noises and the dropouts and et cetera, because we gotta do it because you've got better things to do tonight. All night, the entire night, then there's no open half an hour at all between now and tomorrow. So, you know.
I don't have an open half an hour.
You do. You just don't want to make it. So,
I don't have one.
You do. You just don't want to make it. But anyway, listen, I knew this would be a problem. I'm not getting into it because I'm not going to start putting your shit on the air. But I knew eventually it would be a problem. Anyway,
listen, I am not Marco. I haven't walked away. I
know.
am not.
When your excuse
impregnate someone and have a baby, okay?
When your excuse is involved eating as to why you can't do it all night long tonight, that we have to do it while you're in the car now, it's a little irksome. Because listen, man, I know. I know. You don't. I know.
All right. Well, you know what? Forget. I got a problem with you today.
I can't wait to hear it.
I went to fucking Arbys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went.
I didn't see no TikTok about it.
Oh, I haven't posted it yet.
Oh.
But you know what? I went. It was great.
I know. Well, so how's that a problem with me? I brought you back into the world of reality. I brought you back out of misconception and bad press and word of mouth and people just making toilet jokes all the time at the expense of a wonderful restaurant.
No, that's the problem. I have the worst stomach ache in fucking history.
But it was worth it. But it was worth it, right?
100% was great going in. It has been awful coming back.
Well, that's because your body isn't used to it. You eat Arbys 2 or 3 times and you're back in the game. It's like moving to Mexico, man. You got to get used to all the fucking water, you know? So
okay, so here, we're gonna break it down because I am gonna post the TikTok here, and you're gonna people can listen.
Yeah.
Get the,
oh man, here we go, Mr.
to the podcast,
Mr. Choppy fucking reception here. Go ahead.
No, I hear you perfectly.
It doesn't matter if you can hear me. That's never the issue.
You know what it is? I'll tell you, it's gonna get choppy. Because I'm passing Porsche. So Porsche has this like Porsche driving center out here where you can literally go and test drive Porsches on a racetrack. Every time I drive by, my service cuts out. It's like Porsche has this like dome over it.
Well, boy, I'm glad you rushed to call me early to make me look bad. I'm glad you did that to make a point. Yeah.
No?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, hold on, because you weren't recording. You gonna blame me for that too?
No, I'm blaming you. No, I'm blaming you for the choppy reception.
Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
So I go to Arbys.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if I didn't order. I ordered a couple things, but I didn't know what to get. Like I haven't been there in so long. So I started off with the classic beef and cheddar. Like beef and cheddar, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
The classic. I stood with the single. I didn't go a double. I figured first time in, let's just roll with the single.
I mean, it's the only thing I'd say is how you. I don't want your bias. Like when you're judging, I think the single it's a heavy bread to meat ratio compared to like a double. You know, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
So, you know.
Right. So I got that. I got curly fries because they give you an option now. Crinkle or curly. Who wants the crinkle fry? I want the curly fry.
Yeah.
Like, it's got the seasoning on it. It's, curly fry. They're crispy. All right. I got that. And I got a buffalo chicken slider because it was like on the marquee. So I was like, oh, it was like $1.50. I was like,
I forgot they had those. There's
right. So I was like, I gotta try this.
Yeah.
Right. So That's what I got for today. So first I started with the fries. Holy shit, maybe the best fries in the game by far.
There we go. Right off the bat. I'm so happy you're being honest with yourself too. Like you didn't just go into this with a bad attitude, wanting to just prove me wrong. You know?
Right. No, by far best French fries in the fucking fast food game right now. Hands down, the taste, the crunchiness makes fucking McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's look like you're putting them in a microwave out of the freezer.
And you just ate them right out of the thing, or did you dip them in like some Arbys sauce, some horsey sauce, ketchup? What did you do?
I took the first one, ate it. It was so good. I was like, this doesn't even need sauce. The taste is so good.
When it doesn't even need help. It
doesn't need help. Right.
There you go.
So I give you credit. I will give you credit.
Those fries
You're
needed
1 for 1.
No performance enhancing condiments. Okay.
None. Zero. Like they are that good. And I like a crispy fry. A soggy fry.
Who doesn't? Who says? Listen, give me the ones that have been sitting around a long time, collecting a lot of grease, that have lost their
so
edge.
Crispy though.
Yeah.
So crispy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 1 for 1. I'll give you that. So next I try the buffalo chicken slider. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10. It has.
So you only got 3 items. So like if we're in baseball, you're 2 for 3 for batting. I mean, and you've hit 2 fucking home runs.
Right. So it has buffalo sauce, nice piece of chicken. The bread was so soft, and it's like a little bun, and like almost like a potato bun of sorts. And it has like ranch on it too, so you get the buffalo and the ranch together.
Yeah,
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
like it was so good. The last bite, I dipped it in the little carton it comes in and scooped up all the buffalo and ranch. One scoop. It was so good.
You were
okay.
Yeah,
so you're 2 for 2, pal.
I don't even care. Even if the last thing scored a 0, I feel validated here.
Classic beef and cheddar. It has been years since I've had one. Maybe it may have been probably since I lived in Florida, which was it's been 8-9 years.
Yeah.
So I saved it for last. I got to tell you, I like the bun because it's got the little onion bun. Is that what it is? It's an onion bun?
Yeah, and the little dark things on top. They're onions, yeah. Like an onion bagel. And then Same shit.
Right. And then you got the nice cheese sauce.
Mm-hmm.
I was skeptical because I opened it and it looked like a pretty rough vagina.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is not, it doesn't really look good. When you look at it, right, you're like, oh, this is like rough looking.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
Oh, yes. You know that. Let me tell you something. I don't know what that other, like you said the cheese sauce, but there's also that other red sauce that's in there. That's
I don't know what it is.
It's not Arbys sauce. It's something that they put only on those sandwiches. I keep forgetting to be like, give me a little of that on the side for my fries or something. I don't know what that is, but
here's the thing though.
Yeah.
The Arbys sauce, they give you the packet on the side.
Yeah.
In my head, I said, all right, I'm going to take a bite without it. Then I'll put the Arbys. I ate the whole fucking thing. I forgot to put the Arbys sauce. It didn't even need Arbys sauce. It's so good.
You never opened a condiment package. The whole 3 things, and you
didn't have to.
You never had to open a condiment package. This is tremendous.
No.
This is big deal.
Wait, I'm not even done. I got one more thing that you're going to actually think this is crazy.
Did you get the apple thing?
No, I got a Dr. Pepper, and it was the most crispest, tasteful Dr. Pepper I've ever had. I literally
for fountain drinks are usually watered down and crappy, or the mix is wrong between syrup and soda water. Yeah,
right. I was on the phone with someone
dialed in
when I took my first sip. I took my first sip of Dr. Pepper, I was on the phone with someone, and I took a sip, and I went, oh, spicy. And they're like, what? And I said, this Dr. Pepper is so crisp and spicy that this may be the best Dr. Pepper I've ever had from a fast food establishment. It was like sharp. It was not watery like McDonald's. It punched me in the tongue. It was
Oh,
so good.
this is what's like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so. I finished everything,
Uh-huh.
and I sat in the Arby's parking
Are you
lot,
just cursing my
and
name the whole time?
I was so mad at you because there's two reasons. One, I was mad because you were fucking right, and I hated that. And two, I'm like, this motherfucker has gone 10 years. He's never mentioned to go to Arby's ever as like, hey, you should check out Arby's. They're really good.
No,
Not even a
of
fucking
course.
clue.
No, it's like breathing. You don't think about it. You just know Arby's is good, man.
I mean, I'm a fan. Like, I now am an Arby's like fan.
Good. I'm so glad because I can't
It's
wait for you
moving
to like.
up on the list.
I can't wait for you to go back again and try like two different things and realize that you didn't just get lucky and pick just like hit two easy home runs. That it's all slow pitch and you're gonna crack them all out of the park. You know what I mean?
Well, so I was full.
Uh-huh.
But I seriously thought about going around and getting something else. But I was like, I am so full. I was like, well, next time, there's going to be a next time because Arby's,
Right.
they won. They literally earned themselves the next time.
Wait till you try the flaky with icing on top, apple pie type of dessert that they have there.
Really?
It's like their version of their apple pastry kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe you try one of their like deli sandwiches, or
So I will say the menu.
Or you get like a
changed.
double beef and cheddar with bacon. You know.
So let's see. Like I don't remember when
they also have hack items.
This stuff must
like
be new.
Like
this new?
Like your buddy's McDonald's. They also have like secret menu items.
No, really. I feel like this is all new to me. Like it's my first time.
It's a whole new world. I'd sing it, but I'd probably start coughing really bad. But it's a whole new world for you.
So I sat there and I was angry at you for not telling me, and I was angry at you for being right. And I will say I was so almost close to I was so close to almost going through the line again. I actually drove back around and I stopped at the menu, but I stopped not at the window, like at the speaker. I was like in that lane next to it where it's like kind of like where you could go around. So like I was kind of creeping from afar. Like, should I get something else and do one more lap? And I was like, no, I'm full. I can't. But it was close. It was that good.
Like not stuck in the line where you'd have to order, but where you could see the menu items.
Yes.
I'll tell you this.
So
get the fried mozzarella next time. It's not the.
I thought about it.
It's not the cheap fuck stuff, and it's like the crispy battered kind. You know.
I like this. I like that Arby's has become a contender. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
Where's the beef, baby? Where's the fucking beef?
It's right there, man. It's right fucking there.
Well, that wasn't Arby's, was it? That was Wendy's.
The catchphrase, yeah, that was Wendy's. The little old lady that would
wrong commercial.
The little old lady that would go, "Where's the beef?"
I thought it was Arby's.
No.
All day yesterday.
No, Arby's is we've got the meats.
We've got the meats, yeah.
With the James Earl Jones voice. Darth Vader going, "We've got the meats."
I will say though, afterward I had the meat sweats.
Oh, of course.
I was cramping. I'm like, whoa. But maybe you're right. I've got to train myself back into the Arby's shape.
Bro, I'm
not there yet.
Bro, I haven't had Checkers in like 5 years. Trust me. It doesn't change the fact that they're delicious. But I know the next time I have Checkers, I better not have plans for that evening. But it'll still be worth it to get a big Buford.
I haven't had Checkers either.
To get like a big Buford or something.
Since Florida. Yeah, since Florida.
Well, what is it? Rallies up by you, or it's still Checkers?
No, I have Checkers. I have a Checkers.
Isn't it weird that it's like Rallies or Checkers, but it's the same exact menu?
Same exact thing, right? So somebody had commented saying, "Can you try other American fast food that we don't have in the UK?" So I responded to that with this Arby's video that I'll be posting here in a little bit. But I don't know if they have Arby's in the UK. But now I figured I could do Checkers. I could do a cookout. I could do the stuff that they don't have. Maybe go to Burger King and show them what a Burger King looks like here to kind of give the differences. I may have untapped a whole new world.
Well,
And
that's how
now the term "a whole new world" has been used twice in this podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some big fucking people have come out of doing that, hitting the drive-through, parking, trying the food.
Right.
Remember that Dame guy that did the review of the Five Guys, and the way he did the review, like, it was so enthusiastic and whatever that someone remixed it into a song, and it's like a song that's so I can't do it, but like lines like "you bite the fry and the fry bites back," kind of like that. That song, it was so catchy, and it's this guy just reviewing fast food from Five Guys, and yet the song was in my head for like weeks after I saw the video.
Well, that video had so many views. The original one.
I mean, don't go chasing here, but it's not a bad. Listen, at least maybe it's not even a bad idea to review places that you haven't been to in 5 years. Maybe that's the play, because you go to like Zaxby's or Cookout or Chick-fil-A or McDonald's. I mean, unless you're going to cut a promo on the place because they fucked up, or you're going to film, like your experiences at McDonald's and the guy that was trying to fuck Nick at Chick-fil-A, or how Starbucks, you're like in a abused spouse relationship with Starbucks, where you keep going back to get knocked around again. You need to go to some places.
I may have went to Starbucks today.
Yeah, big surprise. Like trust me, I know there's no $40 gift card. I know that. You're just lying to at least get me off your case. Yeah, it's well long gone by now. Trust me. I know what
I used it up today. We're done.
I know your piggish behavior. There's no way you stretch $40 into a week's worth of stuff.
I mean, I get a $5, $6 Starbucks drink, and I always indulge in a coffee cake or something,
Yeah. Well,
today I may have gotten 2 coffee cakes, but whatever. I mean, we're not fucking talking about that.
I'm just saying it might be smart if you wanted to do these things to do it with unbiased eyes, if your tongue has to have not hit this type of food in at least 3 years to give it a fair shake.
And I feel like I do have to do a Chick-fil-A one because they don't have Chick-fil-A in the UK. So they want to see it. People are like, what is Chick-fil-A like?
Right.
And I can show them that it's okay. It's really not that good.
Mm.
It's all right. The chicken tenders are my favorite. And the cookies and cream milkshake is out of this world. And they got a good cookie.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm just saying I don't feel like you're when you do a tasting video. It's like you already have these preconceived notions because you remember it. Right. I think it takes away some of the spontaneity. Like the Arbys thing, you were probably completely shocked and pissed at me, et cetera, and it's got to make for a much better video than going, yeah, I had Chick-fil-A last week. Here, I'm going to try it for you. I'm going through the motions because I already know what this tastes like, and I already know how I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree. Anyway.
See, I'm the idea guy.
I hate you.
Trust me.
I hate you because you brought Arbys back into my life.
You brought Arbys back into my life is the title
like
of this episode.
You brought back. Unbelievable. But I was impressed. I really was. It was really good. The fries they are the best fries, hands down, in fast food right now that I've had. No. There's no better French fry out there.
This is the title that makes Billy's point again, that we're just two fat guys who talk about food all the time. And who wants to listen to that?
Well, he can go on other people's podcasts and cry because I say we have a Billy ban right now. He's banned from our podcast. So he apologizes for cheating on us.
I mean, is this a ban like when we did when we used to do vlogs like 5-6 years ago, where we would blur TK's face and bleep his name, but he would be in them. We would just blur his face and bleep his name.
That was pretty funny though. Come on.
I know. Again, I'm a clever guy. I know what's funny.
We should go back to those.
You want to do vlogs again?
What
I'll do vlogs again.
what we should do is we should go back to vlogs because they're funny. We should go back to vlogs
Hmm.
and we should ask TK to film stuff and just be like, hey, can you just film some stuff like maybe at your shows? And then when he sends it in, we again bleep his face out, but we don't even tell him.
Right.
He sends it in. We just blur his face and bleep his name out the whole time.
I think we have to contrive just fake a reason though. Something has to
Yeah,
happen. You know.
yeah. Like I told you, I watched a Dan Housen. How do you say it? Dan Housen.
Yeah.
His vlog, and I was dying laughing at him talking about Billy Gunn's kids, the ass boys. I was dying laughing. I was like, this is good content.
I
Good
don't.
content.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, there's this guy on the independent wrestling scene who just got signed to AEW, and AEW is one of the two big televised shows. Um, he's this really strange character that talks in a funny voice, and he's got like this creepy makeup that he wears. It's like a pale white face, and he kind of has a cape, and he's like all comedy, but he's talking like about how he's always
Like he's
doing
evil.
he's always doing evil, and he's got this weird
Yeah.
voice, and it's just shtick. It's funny as fuck. And you were shocked at who it was. You didn't
Yeah,
realize it
I had
was.
no idea.
You didn't realize it was that guy. Was his name Drew Danhausen? Was that what it was? Is that why we
I,
or
I, no, he was Donovan.
Donovan Danhausen or something like that? Whatever it
I,
was
I don't know.
one of the names,
Donovan.
Drew or Donovan or whatever, was the same as our boy Drew, and so
Right,
we would be like it was the other one, and just kind
right,
of tease him about it, and he used to wrestle down here because he was seeing uh, Cadet for a while.
right. One
Uh,
of many. Yeah. So
ooh, easy. And but he didn't look like this, and his body's not the same.
no.
He's not as fit as he used to be. But fuck it, he in this state he got on TV. So who am I to criticize?
I mean, he found a way to make money in the business,
Right?
and I'm blown away because he's a shitty worker. He was.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he is now, but he was. I honestly haven't seen
If you mean if you
anything.
mean actual wrestling, like technical stuff and whatever,
Right.
yeah, I'm sure he's not the best. But with this character, he's a
But he
hell of a
doesn't have
worker.
to be.
But with this
Right.
character, he's a hell of
Oh,
a worker.
right. So funny. Like
Yeah.
I knew nothing about him until AEW really and kind of
I'm
the hype
not.
around that. But I watched this vlog. He is
Yeah,
hilarious.
he's funny. I'm
Hilarious.
not a huge fan of like seeing him wrestling and stuff,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
get it.
Right.
I get it. I get why he's over, and good for him.
So funny. Yeah. It's so funny.
And he's
Yeah. Calling
selling.
the ass boys was great.
He's selling a ton of merchandise. So who am I to
Right. No, good for him.
again? He's doing
Right.
He's
No,
apparently
I'd say
doing
good
everything
for
right.
him. And I love a good comedy match, a good comedy wrestling match, a good comedy gimmick because that's all I've got left in my life.
Right.
So I love that. Love it.
Yeah. Well,
So,
if you're just generic wrestler and you're really
right.
good, it's still kind of a hurdle if you can't do character work. If you can't be something, if there isn't something else interesting about you, if you're just the guy who can't talk, can't be a character, doesn't have an interesting or unique look, if you're just like, you look like everyone else and you dress like everyone else and you're just really good
Right.
at wrestling, it's still an uphill climb. It's much easier avenue if you can entertain in any other
Right.
fashion.
For
In
sure.
any other fashion. So
Right.
even though it's called
Agree.
wrestling,
Yeah, okay.
even though it's called
Right.
wrestling, it's like
Right.
the third most important emphasis.
Literally, right. It is. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So, yeah. Well, I like the gimmick, not that anybody wants to hear wrestling talk, but I will talk about it really quickly. Last night's AEW show, uh, it was good. Like that Adam Page and Lance Archer match was pretty sick. They did some cool stuff in that match.
I did like think to myself, it's weird. This was the first time they had a match.
Right.
Like they've bumped into each other and beat each other up. But this is the first time I've had a match, and they booked a match that is like that what you would have the third time around. Like,
Right, brutal death match.
it's like that's what annoys me a little bit with AEW is that they're a little quick on the draw sometimes with that stuff. It's like, why are we having like this unsanctioned or death match or loosened rules and weapons and tables and chairs and barbed wire and blood? I love that stuff, but I think they use it a little too much. And for this, you don't do this the first time they hit butt heads, because where do you go from there? And I understand I understand if that means nowhere and that Archer was a one-off and whatever, but this was so good. Why wouldn't you want more of that? And I feel like you've like, how are you going to top that? Or are you going to work backwards and now just have a meat and potatoes match where it's wrestling and rules and
can't do that.
You're working backwards.
But I thought the finish was incredibly creative.
It was. It was. I do have a problem with. I mean, how many times has Lance Archer worked since he got injured?
No, not many.
I mean, and then he's out for this long stretch, and it was like a scary, like head neck kind of stinger, jammed head kind of thing. And then your first, like literally one of your first matches back. Granted, it was a banger. But you're doing all this crazy shit. And I'm like, oh my God, what do you, like, dude, put your fucking toe back in the water for a little bit before you jump in the deep end like this. Or maybe not do so much. Like, that match didn't need all that crazy shit, or let the other guy do more of the crazy shit, because it just made, I'm like, the guy just
fucking, it was a crazy match. It was a crazy match.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty bloody and
I just
crazy.
question these things. I love the blood and guts, but I think that Tony Khan loves it too much and goes to it too much.
I agree.
It should be more special. It's. I feel like every third week it happens at least.
And it means nothing at that point. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's like, yeah. So
I guess like it's like to explain to people who don't know wrestling, like it's like a movie. It's like the start of the movie is like the big fucking finish. The big climax of the movie starts the movie off.
Right.
And then from there it tapers down. Like, you can't do that. You can't do that. I agree with you. It's just, they blew their load like within the first. They definitely two-pump trumped us because they blew their load in the first match. And it's got to be over. It's done.
But it depends how you're looking at the structure. If you're looking at like the structure of the show, they ended with that, which is the right way to go. But in terms of a storyline between those two characters, it's over. Yeah, it's over already.
Yeah. It's over. You got to move on.
And then they had like Keith Lee show up, and I mean, people like him, and I understand. Again, I understand it's a little bit of the Danhausen thing. It's because he's very unique that people gravitated to that, and he's like a Samoa Joe in concept, where he's this really big guy that does all these moves that you would never expect to see from a really big guy. Except he's another one who, like, how many times has he wrestled in the last 18 months? Remember, he was laid out with COVID, had the complications. Then WWE like buried him and basically had him wrestle 4 times and then never used him. Called him Bearcat and buried him down the show. And then you have him show up and it's like, and then I see people commenting, "Oh, he looks a little fat and he looks a little slow," and I'm like, maybe he is because he hasn't gotten the reps in, and they had him debut the week after he gets married, so it's probably still full of pigs in the blankets and wedding cake,
Right.
It's weird.
Yeah. I agree.
And
he did look a little slow, but he got such a reaction. Does it even matter?
No, he got a monster pop. That's all you want is to maintain that, and they at least booked him right. A lot of these guys when they were coming in earlier, like the Rusevs and whatever, they would come into this big debut and then they kind of drop the ball with them, and 6 months later they kind of fix it, and then they get on track. But that first 6 months there's kind of a...
Where has Rusev been?
I don't know. I mean, is he hurt? I don't know. It's a good question.
I don't know.
Good
question.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you caught this. I was meant to tell you guys in the thread today, and I forgot to write it. Did anyone catch Matt Hardy did and what the announcer said?
I
Did you catch that?
I saw that I saw in the last few weeks that he sold off a like big position to Andrade of his, holdings, which are these managing
You
these
see what he
other
did during the
people.
match.
And then I saw that he kind of just bailed on his guys during the match and left.
And he hopped the guardrail.
Yeah, like his brother
And
did,
the announcer,
and went off
right?
into the
And the
crowd.
announcer, right? And the announcer said something about him having a mental breakdown or something. They used the line that WWE said when Jeff climbed the railing. Like they totally took a shot at them by doing it.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Well,
It's a
because
fucking beautiful little just tongue in cheek spot.
in the group chat I said that it looks like Hardy's distancing himself from his own faction so that he can, be with his, when his brother debuts, it'll be the Hardy Boys.
Well, it's going to be the Hardys versus Private Party, I would imagine.
Maybe
they're going to help build these kids up a little bit.
because he was like managing Private Party and he was managing Butcher and Blade and he was it was like more than just them. So it's one or the other or both or whatever. Yeah, but
he was teaching Private Party the Swanton and like this is good storytelling.
Yeah,
to me.
Yeah,
yeah,
and for those that haven't been paying attention or don't read, a lot of the like the news sites on the internet. His brother was with WWE, and
right.
there was some mystery match where he just kind of bailed in the middle of the match and left through the crowd. And I think the WWE assumed he was back on the drugs, forced him to take a piss test, yada yada, and
the whole deal, right.
and put a ultimatum: you go to rehab, or you're done. And he was like, "Fuck you guys! I'm not going to rehab. I'm done." And this was based on nothing because apparently
right.
they hadn't even gotten the results of the piss test back. So he's released.
Right.
He got released, and like 6 months later, they were really dragging their feet, sharing the information on that drug test, and they finally got it. And it was that he wasn't on anything. So we don't know why he left in the middle of the match, but it wasn't because he was high out of his mind. But he was getting slandered everywhere because everyone just assumed 1 and 1 equal 2 with Jeff at this point, and it wasn't. And the other part of it was that when they were trying to do the Royal Rumble, they wanted him to come back, and he told them to kick rocks. He said, They even were like, "Oh, and to entice it, we want to put you in the Hall of Fame this year," as if like that would make everything better, as if like this bullshit honorarium into this bullshit thing that's owned by the WWE was going to mean anything to them. And it's not like you get a check the rest of your life because you're in the Hall of Fame. So what are you dangling in front of me?
Right. I think I heard someone say the payoff for the Hall of Fame was like $2,000 or something.
Yeah, and they make you a nice ring. And I think ideally, if you want to participate every year, they fly you in to attend the Hall of Fame ceremony. Whoop-de-doo. Also, he told them to kick rocks and said, also, I demand the results of my drug test. He knew what was up. So that was such a weird situation all the way around. Because originally, why did he leave the ring? I mean, maybe he got knocked on the head and was a little confused. I mean, that fucking happened.
Or he was just sick of their bullshit.
Yeah, but I think it's too professional to do that in the middle of a match. It was at a house show. So if you're going to do it anywhere.
He tried to work Sting half in the bag. Come on.
Right, but he was high. You don't.
Oh, he was high.
Well, I'm saying if he wasn't high, why was he walking out of the match, mate? That's not when he's likely to make the bad decision. He made the bad decision to go wrestle in the main event of a pay-per-view high because he was high. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. That's also like anyone go to YouTube and watch, I forget what it is, but it's TNA. I forget what the pay-per-view name was, but it doesn't matter. Just Sting versus Jeff Hardy. It's tremendous to watch him walk down the aisle, come in the ring. The look of disgust on Sting's face.
Sting's face, he was so pissed.
Disgusted and pissed. And Hardy wasn't even aware of what was going on. I think they may have told him, listen, even if they told him, you're going in there 1, 2, 3, and you're out. I don't think he even realized that. and Sting just
No, because he
big.
kicked out like after
Right,
the
right,
three.
right,
Like,
right. He kicked out. Sting's Big Bang Boom.
yeah,
The ref fast counted him
yeah,
like it was Bret Hart versus Shawn
yeah.
Michaels in Canada, and there it was, and confused Jeff, and I mean just disgusted. Sting was disgusted. I can totally see at some point Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, wanting to have a match with those two. Maybe not on a pay per view,
Like a redemption
but
match.
maybe like listen, and it even be like in the back, like, listen, I owe you a real match, Sting. How about it? And he's like, anytime, brother. And just like
Right,
just
right.
that nod to history would
Play
be
off
pretty
of it.
cool. Just that nod to
Right,
history would be pretty
right.
cool.
Agree.
But I
Yeah,
just
no, I
I
agree. I
can't get
agree.
I will never get the image of that face on Sting having to go
Right,
through this
no, I
and
know. He
like
was so disgusted.
disgusted, angry,
Disgust and pissed. Right.
and disappointed because
Yeah.
nobody doesn't like Jeff Hardy. I don't think in the business.
And it was a pay-per-view people were paying for, you
Right.
know?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is that there's this sense of what's the word I'm looking for, but that you owe the fans. That they
Right, right.
paid
They
that these
paid.
people like it ain't cheap. They're
Right.
hardworking people that save up and they look forward to this for months for some of these matches for months and months and
Right.
and then you don't deliver. I think there's a sense of obligation, and respect
Yeah.
because you're not this business more than any. It's not about skill. It's about whether the fans like you or not or
Right.
respond to you.
Right.
You could be the best, but if the fans don't respond to you, like I said, that vanilla guy that's the best wrestler in the world isn't going to go as far as someone that can actually engage, entertain, evoke
Right.
emotions, all that shit. So, the
Right.
three E's of
Yeah.
wrestling.
Agree.
So,
Agree.
yeah. Brief update. Did you ever hear anything, or have you followed up yet with any of that stuff with the school and the cops and all that?
No. I haven't yet. My kids, both of them, didn't go to school today, so uh,
For any
you know,
reason, or they like
I
was
mean, I may have woke up like really late, and so did they. So, like, school had already started, and I had to go to work. I was like, "Yeah, you're just staying home today,"
oh,
because yeah, it was my fault.
oh. Well, you take
Yeah,
them to school every day too?
I do.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, the privilege of
so
these kids. The fucking
yeah,
the richy rich kid that won't say no privilege of these two. They
the
can't go catch the
privilege.
bus? There's no bus out by you? No school
There's a
bus?
bus, but who wants to take the bus?
Nobody, but that didn't change the fact that my mom and dad were like, "Well, if there's a bus, there's no reason for me to take you to school."
Yeah, no, I drive them every day, but
Oh
yeah,
my
I
god,
haven't been
that's
back. I gotta see when I go back. They go back this week, but I will tell you. So, uh, speaking of the basketball team, so they want to do a banquet, right? And like a year-end banquet, and one of the parents had said, you want to help with it, and I was like, well, what do you need me to do? Very nice, like lady. It's the one of the kids' mothers and her sister always come to the games, and they're Alabama fans, so of course Roll Tide.
all right.
So we they're very nice people. So anyway, she was like, hey, you know, I hear you can cook. And I was like, oh, here we go. I was like, they're fucking roping me in here. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, maybe we should cook for the banquet. I was like, I have to cook for everyone? So she's like, come on, it'd be great if we cooked. I'll make some stuff, you make some stuff. So I was like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So that last game, when I went over to see her at halftime, I said, hey. She goes, you got that menu for me? I was like, what? She's like, the menu. I was like, the menu for what? The banquet? She's like, yeah. Like, what are you gonna make? Because I told the coach we're cooking. I'm like, oh my god. So now I'm roped into cooking, but I like her. She's a nice lady. I don't want to like disrespect her.
I,
So
you're gonna Donald Trump this
I'm
and
gonna
just get a bunch of McDonald's, aren't you?
I'm gonna cook. Well, I mean, I haven't decided yet. I don't know what I'm doing. But we don't have a date yet, so it's not like I gotta like cook now. But I got stuck cooking. I don't even know how.
This is where
And
this is
I
where
don't even like.
this is where a good Arby's sponsorship would help.
Well, I don't like. I don't. You're cooking for a bunch of Southerners first off. Maybe they don't like my food. I don't know.
Oh
Maybe they
no,
don't know a good Italian.
well, first of all, you should be like fucking a bunch of lasagna and a bunch of
That's what
meatballs
I said.
at
Right.
ziti, bake ziti, and that's it.
So
That's what you
I
get.
I told her. I said, look, I can do some baked ziti. I can do some meatballs, and that's it. And she said, oh my God, that's perfect. But what if they don't like, they don't like it? I don't know.
Then
They
they
could
don't
have a
eat.
different tasting.
Then they don't eat.
You know.
That's you know.
There, there's nothing more disrespectful than an Italian making food, and you look over and someone's adding fucking salt and pepper to it, and you're like, whoa, like that's so disrespectful. And this is true story. So, like my grandma would cook when she was alive, and my friends, they would come over and eat. And I had a couple of Italian friends. Eric always knew. Eric knew because he's Cubans and Italians. They're pretty. Hispanics and Italians are pretty similar. So he would never like add the salt or pepper. But yeah, I had a couple. Black friends. I had a couple white friends that were, white friends had no culture, and they like would add salt and pepper, and my grandma would lose her shit. Like in Italian, would just be like, cursing them out.
I
Because
wouldn't
she would
take offense
be
to that. I
she would be so mad that to her it was like, you don't think my cooking's good? You had to own your own fucking seasonings to it? Like, you disrespectful fuck.
Yeah, but some
Yeah,
people
she
like a
was
little more.
livid.
But some people like a little more bite, some a little less. So a little more pepper, a little less. Some
Well,
like things a little more salty, some like it a little less. I mean, like
not around my Italian
you're
grandma.
cooking to try and appease everyone, but that's why like two different people. One person will salt stuff, and one person won't because their tastes are different. It's not that's yes, I get it.
Yeah.
When someone's proud of their cooking and whatever, it's
Disrespect.
it's listen, it's 2022. Don't be a jackass. Don't take it personally. Or put
You know what that's like?
put your
Like,
food out and
like,
hide
oh,
and hide the shakers, okay? What do you want me to tell you?
here's like another disrespectful. You tell me if you think this is disrespectful. I had this conversation yesterday.
Listen,
I asked Lex, I asked a couple
listen,
of people.
I stay over your house and you cook me eggs in the morning because I earn them. I'm going to ask you where the hot sauce is. Whether you think I deserve hot sauce on the eggs or not. I don't eat eggs without hot sauce. It is what it is. And if you get offended by that, then you're going to see a plate full of eggs never be eaten.
No. No, it would it wouldn't. She wouldn't be offended with eggs. She was offended because it was like her sauce. Like, you don't think my sauce is tasty enough? You have to add extra salt and pepper? Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Now, eggs is a different story. You could add your shit to the eggs, no big deal.
Hmm.
It was her sauce. Anyway,
Whatever.
it's like this. I'm going to end it on this.
Lunatic Italian grandmothers. Go ahead.
Well, I'm going to end it on this. Okay, you tell me if this is disrespect. Would you do this?
Uh-huh.
You call me and say, I'm coming over your house tonight. And I say, okay. You say, hey, I'm going to have dinner there. And I say, what do you want for dinner? And you say, let's just say you say, I want Italian. Make some pasta with some garlic bread. Okay, good. What time are you going to be here? Be there at 8 o'clock. Perfect. Right? I'm going to make Italian for you. You want the Italian? We're going to eat Italian. So I go to the store. I buy all the stuff.
A real
4
Italian
o'clock rolls around.
would already have the stuff.
I shop for the moment. Right? But listen, so I get all the stuff, right? And just say 8 o'clock you're coming. It's 4 o'clock, and you say, hey, I'm meeting my friends for a couple drinks after work. And I'm gonna eat something a little light because we're not gonna eat until probably 8:30. Okay, cool. And that person eats Italian food. They say, I'm at an Italian place, and they send you a picture of garlic bread and pasta. How pissed would you be? How disrespectful is that for you to ask me to make my pasta at 8 o'clock, but at 4 o'clock You're eating pasta and garlic bread.
This is a
It's fucking
very
disrespectful.
this is a very specific
Oh,
set of
this is
circumstances.
very, very specific situation here,
This
my
is
friend.
very specific. I need to know what real world scenario you're complaining about.
Listen, I'm just.
You're just what? I just lost you. Hello? Oh, this fucking guy. See, this is the problem. Oh, we may just end the podcast here because I don't know if he's even on the line. Hello, are you there? Oh, you son of a bitch! You're driving through the fucking mountain here. All right, well, now I'm gonna have to hang up and call him back because he's gonna get an earful on this one. Let's just call him right back. See if he answers. He's probably been talking for 2 minutes, and he's gonna realize I'm calling in here.
I have no idea what happened. No idea. I was still talking.
Cut off. It just like nothing.
Anyway,
Just
this was a prior situation, right?
yeah.
It was a prior situation that was re-brought up to me yesterday. Remember the time when, and I said, yeah.
Who was
I
this?
pissed that day. It doesn't matter who it was.
Why does it not matter?
I said,
Did you do this to someone?
I would never do that to someone.
Well,
Someone did that to me.
Listen, I wouldn't put it past you to have dinner plans and yet be tempted to eat 2 hours, 30 minutes, 15 minutes before your dinner plans, okay?
Right, okay, but that's not my issue. My issue is not that you ate. My issue is that you ate what you asked me to cook. Don't ask. That's
a challenge.
Like saying, hey,
that's throwing down the challenge. Like, better be better than what I just had.
So here's the deal. I was so
Who
mad
did
at that
this?
moment.
Why won't you say?
You don't know. It was a friend of mine did this. This is years ago.
A friend of mine.
A friend of mine did this to me. But
Okay.
brought it back up to yesterday and said, do you
Asking
remember
for a
that
friend.
time?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I was laughing, and I was like, yeah, I was so mad that day that I almost didn't make food at all. I almost said, go fuck yourself when they showed up, and they were like, where's dinner? And I was going to say, oh, make fuck, what do you want? You want go eat a fucking cheeseburger? I don't know, because you already had Italian. And that person was like, well, you were literally not going to make food? What about the kids? I said, oh, no. At that moment, everybody was going to fucking suffer that day because I was that mad. So I ended up making the pasta that night, and this person came and said, well, I'm hungry. It's 4.5 hours later. I'm going to eat the pasta. Well, me being my petty self, I was like, I'm not eating the pasta, so I started to make a sandwich. And they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not eating the pasta. Like, out of spite. Yeah. And they're like, you're hurting yourself. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And I ate the pasta. Anyway, my point is do you do that? Like, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that.
I mean, I agree. But this is, right, I don't think this is a common thing that like we needed to hypothetical. I think this was somehow like popped in your head and it brought back all this like trauma. And you just...
Oh, it did. I was re-mad last night again. And Lex is like, why are you still mad? I'm like, because it made me think about it.
You don't understand. You just don't understand.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there's also, there's something about this podcast because I literally just pulled into my house. I have to go to the bathroom so bad. It's not even funny. Like, I'm literally clenching cheeks right now. And my stomach is making noises. It's something about the end of this podcast that makes me want to take a shit. Yeah. Probably your voice.
I got the brown note.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. I gotta go. I'm done.
Okay.
I gotta go to Korean barbecue. I'll send pictures.
Enjoy your Arby's revenge.
Yeah, this is Arbys revenge, but taking me right into Korean barbecue.
I'm telling you this. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the TikTok. I want to see the genuine reactions and the emotions cross your face. And I hope you plug the podcast for the longer, in-depth interviews. Yeah,
it's gonna be posted in about 15 minutes. Goodbye.
Okay. Bye.